Hello, friends. How are you? It's been a little bit because I've been busy. And tonight's episode is about the big picture. Like, what is the big picture? And so, um, if you've been around, you know I've been dealing with a hole in my foot that was a result of falling down a mountain and then fracturing my heel and walking on it for 4 months and not knowing it was fractured and causing more problems. And I had surgery and I've been indoors for horrible week 12. It's this week 12. And it's been ginormously frustrating to me because I'm a busy girl and I'm a mover and I'm a hiker and I play the bagpipes and I march and I like to walk and I like to be in nature. It's like my favorite place to be. And I don't live in the woods. I live on a mountain or at the base of a mountain. And, it sucked. It sucks. There's no other way to say it. I've filled my time with good things, and have rallied every day and have remained positive and am positive. I am positive, and this too shall pass, right? But it's hard to see the big picture when all your friends are posting their hiking pictures and you are stuck at home. I didn't get out backpacking once this year. And that's just like the first time in like 10 years I've not slept in the woods overnight, that I've not been around a campfire, even tent, like car camping. Like I haven't done anything. Couldn't go to the island. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get sand in the stupid thing. And you know, so it has sucked. And it's hard to see the big picture when things suck. So, this past weekend is this local Celtic festival that we have, which is an invitational, which means that if you play the pipes, I live in the Eastern United States, so there's the Eastern United States Pipe Band Association, and a lot of the competitions are sanctioned by them, and Celtic Classic, which is the local festival, is an independent um, festival, so they're not sanctioned by um, the EUSPBA, but they have a nice prize purse, and it's worth it for bands to come out and compete because it doesn't help or harm their ranking in the official standing. So if you're a new band, it's great to come and toss your hat in the ring and get really good feedback from the judges on how to improve. So if you're getting ready to compete in the circuit, you have some feedback. And if you are a really good band and you kind of flub up, it isn't going to impact your overall ranking that you've worked hard all season to achieve. So so I always love to go to the pipe band competitions. I play on Friday night with one band, and then on Saturday there's always a little bit of a struggle because I'm in two bands that are in the parade, and then mass bands, and then because I love both bands, and I go with the smaller band because they need more pipers. And then we usually do an event at a bar called Molly's in South Bethlehem in the afternoon. And then Sunday morning is an ecumenical church service that I play at. And then, so all weekend we're doing different events and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of walking. So I wasn't allowed to do it. And so I was being sad because I was like, well, I can't do anything. And then my friend Jim says, hey, the guy who's been announcing for the past 25 years, this really nice man named Arthur, that's Scottish, isn't doing it. He didn't do any of the festivals this year. Do you think you could do it? Because I do public speaking and I'm not nervous in front of crowds or whatever. Teaching for 100 years has helped with that. And I was like, that would be a great way. I won't have to walk around. I get to see the pipe competitions, which I go to see anyway. So that would be really a lot of fun. So I dug up some facts and I have to admit, like, I loved Arthur, but I never listened to him because I was always with other pipers and we were talking about the piping. So I couldn't remember what he did, but I know my style is audience interaction. So I was going to do trivia and try to get people really involved, and hopefully help them like walk away from the pipe competitions knowing a little bit about pipes if they didn't know anything about pipes. Because how would you know that there are 9 notes? How would you know what the judges are looking at? How would you know fun facts about how many pipers were killed in World War I, right? Like, how would you know that? And how would you even know to ask for that? So I thought, well, this is a good way for me to be part of everything. And then it turned out that I was the announcer for the mass bands, which is great because I love mass bands. Some pipers really don't like it. I always think it's a hoot because like you crash into each other and it's just it's wild. Like if they play like the one tune Minstrel Boy, bands play it slightly different, so it's always really fun because then sometimes it'll end in a round. And it's just, to me, it's like one of the best things we do as pipers, and the crowd loves it. Like they love to see, 600 bagpipers on a field crashing into each other and playing, and they don't hear the mistakes that we hear on the field. So obviously I couldn't march, what they call the pass through, and but I was able to join after announcing. I was able to join in when they stood still and played three tunes and then played Amazing Grace. So I got to participate that way. And then I had to bow out of the ecumenical church service because it's in this old historic ice house, and there's a lot of stairs. And I remember from last year that like part of the gig is you have to like crawl under this police tape that prevents everybody else from going up the stairs, but we go up in the stairs to play on the balcony. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna have to call an ambulance if I do that. So, I didn't. My playing wasn't going to add anything to the three other folks that I play with who are good pipers too. So, better not to cause a problem than to cause a problem for myself or for them. So I did the awards as well at the end of each day at the second mass bands, and that was really cool. Like to be there to see the pipe majors' faces and the drum majors. I handed out those awards too. You don't really get to see that when you're in the crowd, right? So it was really like this amazing opportunity, this amazing weekend. No, I didn't do the things that I normally do, and I wouldn't have done this probably had I not been injured. And so, after soaking in Epsom salt for literally like 100 hours, I was thinking about how sometimes we don't realize the big picture, right? So the big picture here was that had I not been injured, I would not have done this. I would not have had this amazing experience, met all these volunteers who work on the piping committee, spent the day like listening, like best view in the house of watching, not just watching the bands, but watching the judges and from their perspective of and how they work together to judge. There's usually two piping judges, an ensemble judge and a snare and midsection judge. And, and just like being in the heart of it was like amazing. And I wouldn't have had that amazing experience had I not been injured. So, even if I'm not injured next year, which I hope this is over by next year, if they asked me to do it, I'd probably do it again because I really did have an amazing time. But it helped me think about the big picture of a lot of things, like things that really suck when you're going through it, like a relationship that ends, right? You have a relationship with someone, a friendship, a love relationship or a marriage or whatever, and it gets bad and it breaks up, and that's that. And you don't necessarily, see the big picture of well, why did that happen? Why did I waste all this time on this person? Or why did I invest so much of my heart into this relationship if it was just going to fizzle? What's the big picture there? And it all falls down to, I think, lessons that we're meant to learn in this physical life. And, I believe that we are souls living in a physical body. We're not physical bodies, having a soul experience. So, we're meant to learn different lessons, and the bigger picture might be something, that we just don't understand. Like maybe that person just couldn't grow with you. Maybe that person wasn't who, he, she, or they presented themselves to be, and isn't a good connection for you for your highest good. Like you don't know, right? We don't know. And so, it's hard because when it matters to the heart, and friendship and lovers and things like that, it's hard to see that bigger picture. But I'm always reminded of chances where the bigger picture, like times when the bigger picture is there, and I just don't know what it is about yet. And I'm just, like a reminder to be patient, that it'll all unfold when it's supposed to unfold. And you may not understand it in the moment, but trust God, trust your source, and know that, the Spirit's good. God is good. And whatever lesson you're supposed to learn or whatever is supposed to happen, like I think a lot about 9/11 because I'm from this part of the country. And, you hear all those stories of people who, forgot their wallet and had to go back home and missed the train, and then they didn't go in. Like, they were frustrated in that moment because crap, they had to go home and they're going to be late and they're going to get in trouble from their boss, and maybe they're going to get fired, and then the World Trade Centers blow up. Like, there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger plan. There's something bigger out there. And we don't always know what it is. And it's hard to trust because we learned the lesson. Like, I learned it this weekend. Like, so thankful, really, of anything. Like, anything that good that came out of being sitting on my butt for 12 weeks has been that I had this amazing experience this weekend. But I didn't know that 3 weeks ago, before they asked me to do it, and it just seemed useless to be sitting on my butt doing nothing. But it turned out like, and eventually this foot will heal, and eventually I'll be back on trail, and we'll be able to hike. This is my favorite time of year to hike. I'm a fall girl. I'm a little frustrated because I won't be able to deploy to Florida with the Red Cross, because I won't get clearance. But there's other ways I can help. Before I volunteered with the Red Cross, I volunteered with Code for America and Code for Change. And during some really nasty hurricanes about 5 years ago, I worked in a shelter team coding and stuff. There's other ways I'll be able to help. I just have to remember the bigger picture. There's some reason that I can't go to Florida, some bigger reason. And so, I had to just kind of accept it and keep going. And so for you, like, I know something sucks right now. Like, somebody's being mean to you. Somebody's trying to, get you fired. Somebody's trying to, influence your kids or something. There's something's going on in your life. Something is out there going on in your life, and you don't understand the bigger picture. and it's okay to just say, you know what, God or Spirit or whoever you're talking to, I don't understand the bigger picture, but I trust the universe's energy. I trust that the highest good is going to come out of whatever is happening right now. And sometimes we just have to be patient. And for someone like me who's not all that patient, that's a consistent lesson that I'm learning in this physical life, is just to be patient. I don't understand why certain things happen. Intellectually I might understand, or even theoretically I might understand, but, my heart doesn't understand. My heart doesn't understand people walking away. My heart doesn't understand people dying. My heart holds on to those things, even if my rational mind has let go. But there's a bigger picture, and there's a better picture. And so I'm wishing all of you the ability to be patient and to wait for the bigger picture, and to know that, the universe wants good for us. So if we're learning a lesson, or if we are, we're meant to learn something in this physical life, like there's some reason whatever is happening is happening. We have free will and things like that, and choices that we make. But, the universe is good. And it wants the best for us. Spirit wants the very best for us. God wants the best for us. And the more light and love we bring to the world, the better the world gets. So please join me in sending warm thoughts and healing thoughts and prayers for safety to all the people living in Florida, and all the people who are in harm's way in the whole world, really, and then here in the United States and Florida. So wishing all of you all the best in light and love, and I will see you next time. Be well. Bye-bye.